come to meet. I thought, oh, that's an idea. So, and it kind of started from there. And I wrote a proposal, and it was just the perfect timing, really, for me to be stuck at home, surrounded by my archive, and to get it all out of my head, because I had a lot of time to think then. It was kicked off about 6 weeks after I'd lost the election. And it just seemed very timely, really, to get all this down on paper when I had a bit of elbow room and an awful lot of anger.
I mean, most of our listeners will have murky horror stories about the council.
Yes.
Many of us, for different reasons, as you supported us very well. At Silchester, they tried to knock us down, supporters of the library and so on and so forth. When does this story actually begin?
Yeah. So, I joined the council in 2006, so there's a little bit of a preamble, but mostly it kicks off at about 2010, when the Tory government came in, and the whole issues about, they sucked money out of social housing, so it had to start paying for itself. And that's when the council had this brilliant idea of regenerating the whole of North Ken and throwing out the little people. So
that's us.
That's
ladies and gentlemen.
And I took, some of the things they said, especially in the early days when they were less guarded and they didn't realise I was writing down all the filthy comments that they were making about us ordinary people. And I'm a social tenant too, by the way. So I've got some really terrible comments and anecdotes and so on, but also I've gone through it quite forensically. I thought people might find it a bit boring, actually, but some people have found it fascinating, and I've had some very good reviews, and it's called A Brutal Expose by Inside Housing.
It's called One Kensington.
The book is called One Kensington, and someone said it's a brutal expose. So some parts of it are quite forensic, and some parts of it are quite celebratory. So I do celebrate our community. I've got a chapter about Carnival. I've got a chunk about when I won and what happened when I went into Parliament.
What
and
great
so
days those were.
Yeah, amazing. Those first 4 days we had, Piers. The aftermath. And I have a chapter all about the love we have, which I called Compassionate Kensington, about our incredible communities, because they are great and they have always been great. But, oh my God, did they step up at Grenfell and still are filling in all the failures of the council with all their love and care right now.
I was going to ask you, because before you said, Inside Housing called it a brutal expose. Obviously, that in itself explains that there's some really awful stuff that has gone on in this borough. And the council have done some pretty disgusting, despicable things. But are we seeing things shifting? That's what I'm interested in. You started going 2010.
They would like to say there's a culture change and so on. And a lot of people, of course, don't see it. And all the outside organisations who've been watching over the council have been giving them endless bits of advice, which is all in the book. I break it down, which they've been ignoring, I'm afraid to say. And there is still a lot of criticism, not just from us, not just from North Ken, not from the people who've actually suffered, but from people outside too, saying, when are they going to change? And the more people I talk to about the book, the more I realise that, we are still a feudal state here, I'm sorry to say. They may have better comms now. They're back to £1 million a year spent on their comms, but actually it hasn't changed that much. They just got better at presentation.
Some would say too much comms. You've used a slight double entendre with the book, haven't you? Because One Kensington sounds like one of those blocks that the Candy brothers might have put up, but also you're saying one community. Kensington, as in a community.
Yes.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because after the fire, we saw that people at the top of the hill were appalled and disgusted by what they'd seen. And you'd see all these lovely, yummy mummies and middle-class ladies coming down the hill, working at Rugby Portobello, working at the Harrow Club. So there is a one, as it were, Tory One Nation Kensington that could be achieved.
Hasn't that always been the case, though? Because one of the issues is, if you think about the piggeries and the potteries, and you think about Octavia Hill and Reverend Road, there's always been these sort of benevolent, wealthy people who do a bit of charity. So I'm not sure how sincere that is.
I mean, I must say, I went to visit quite a lot of the resident associations in the Southern Woods when I won, and they were all a bit curious to meet me. And a lot of them said they were absolutely appalled and they didn't know how bad it was and how the council had let them down. And so that's really interesting. And they still say that. They still say, I'm the person who brought it to their attention. They should, the fire did really, but then when they spoke to me. And and it made them have a completely different view of how the council is run. Because obviously, if you're living in some of the beautiful areas of South Kent, gorgeous, beautifully looked after, you may not know that the council are treating people abominably and not and failing in their duty of care, which they do. They do know now, and many of them still talk to me about it, and they're still appalled. One Nation Tories.
So there are a number of people that are genuinely ignorant, or were genuinely ignorant until Grenfell, really.
Absolutely. There's still some nasty people down there, but a lot of people who are really compassionate and caring, as
I mean,
said.
just because you're posh, just because you're rich, it doesn't mean that you despise poorer people. And we have
one would hope so, but sadly, that's not always the experience.
We have a fantastic heritage in this borough. You know, go back to the 60s, go back to the 70s. You know, Powis Square, Lady Anne. Some of those protest movements and community movements.
We've always had our bohemians, that's sure. But I always wonder, like, how much actually they're able to actually change and influence. Is it the actual people themselves on the street with the lived experience of the impoverishment and the oppression that are the ones that ultimately make the changes?
Oh, Uncle Charlie's here.
Yay!
While we greet Uncle Charlie, Emma, you chose What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
I
kind
did.
of obviously why, but
Yes. Thank you.
who's this for? Lizzie and Kim?
Go for it.
Mother, there's too many of you cry. Brother, there's far too many of you die. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Yeah. Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? Right on. Right on. Right on. Mother, everybody thinks we're at home. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find a way. Bring some understanding here today. Picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me. You can see what's going on. Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. Right on, right on. Right on.
Yeah, what's going on, Marvin Gaye? We're here talking to Emma Dent Code, our,
in North Kensington, or what has gone on?
our beloved MP, and still councillor, but now in St Helens.
St Helens is very lucky.
You start the book around 2010, and for those of us in Latimer, that is quite a significant time, because that was the moment when they seemed to set their eyes on North Ken. There was the mysterious Notting Barnes master plan, which was denied for many years.
Yes.
There's a popular myth that a lot of this came about that the previous guy, Daniel Moylett, they all wanted to get rid of him, and in order for Nick Paget Brown to succeed, he had to have our nemesis, Rock Fielding Mellon, as his deputy, who then, of course, set his regenerative sites on North Ken.
Yes.
Do you just look at all?
Particular arrogance, though. A particular arrogance about
I
Rock
didn't want
Fielding
to
Mellon.
name them
Can't
because it's not
stand him.
just about those individuals. It's about a whole culture, which is still there, and slightly better hidden, and it is, there's a slightly different flavour to it. But they'll be after us at some point. There's no doubt about that. But there were all kinds of dodgy dealings going on. Some of it was just nasty politics, and some of it was absolutely all-out effort to squeeze the poor out of North Kent.
Because
But I mean,
the land values are.
but also
mega.
there's a history of it. I mean, we talk about the African Caribbean Centre and the African Caribbean community and the whole thing. I mean, because actually 2010 was really as well bubble up with Westway Trust. And very shortly after that, that's when they came out with their master plan for Westway Trust, which was again about socio-ethnic cleansing.
It
And it
was.
was going to go hand in hand with the council.
The
Rock was a
vultures were in.
trustee. Rock was a trustee
Yeah.
of the
That's right,
Westway
the
Trust.
And there was a
vultures were
history of doing
circling-
this.
The vultures were circling over North Kent.
I
there's
mean,
no
even
doubt
the
about that.
Westway, there's a history of socio-ethnic cleansing with that building. I mean, it was the working class, it was the impoverished people, and it was the minoritized and racialized communities who were basically shoved out. Because they, as everyone knows, they could have built that, I don't know, High Street Kensington or across Holland Park Avenue, but they weren't going to do it. So this is a continuation of a culture, like you say.
Absolutely, and a lot of that I go in painful meeting by painful meeting in some bits in the book about the meetings I attended and what people had said and what their plans were and where the money was going, because some of the money they spent on feasibility studies and so on, if you do a feasibility study, suddenly the prices go through the roof already just by having a look at it, by pretending we were going to have a Crossrail station in the north, which they did for years, like 20 years. There was never going to be a Crossrail station in the
Kensal
north.
Road.
It was a fallacy. I actually asked the chairman of Crossrail once, when do I buy my hat? For the opening of the Portobello Crossrail station, and he roared with laughter. So we always knew that because people on the inside had told us that. But the council continued, and they spent money, we think possibly up to £1 million on feasibility studies
And
over
that
years
went-
and years, simply to boost the price of the land up in North Kent.
And the
Disgraceful. That's
and the
part of the plan.
And the people that conducted or carried out the feasibility studies all had connections as well. Is this all? I mean, I know there's stories of people meeting in hotels and having lunches and stuff. So there's
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of that going on, and it was very dodgy. It was a terrible time for people, for the little people like us, and a lovely time. They were just carving up North Ken at that time. Absolutely shocking, really shocking. And Grenfell stopped it for now.
For now. Your book starts in 2010, comes up to more or less the present day.
Pretty much, and there is an earlier bit about my childhood in Chelsea and so on, and what it was like as a proper neighbourhood, more like North Ken is now.
Yeah.
oh well, you two probably have something in common then.
Yeah,
You're both
no, absolutely.
Chelsea kids.
Yeah, yeah. So there's.
I have pictures of Emma as a bright young thing, actually.
Oh, okay. So maybe there's another book there.
But 2010 is when it all kicked off, really, changing government. And as I said, the vultures were circling over North Ken. It got very frightening for a lot of people. And a lot of people were moved out with the kind of promise of development, which then didn't come, like in Silchester.
Yeah.
There were people who sold their leases and were moved out, and then nothing happened.
Like Warnington as well.
Warnington,
I
which
mean,
is
the people
half-
were decamped.
Yeah.
And then they just never brought
They
them
never
back.
came back. Absolutely never came back. So there was an awful lot of mess. Also, the Warwick Road estate. where there were a lot of leaseholders there who sold up early because they thought they were going to get a better price, and then nothing has happened. They're just revamping it now. So the money that was wasted, I would love to. I've been through the budget and I've picked out as much as I can, because actually some of the figures are shocking. They're really shocking. I proved, I think, that all the money they spent since the beginning of Holland Park Opera until they stopped supposedly funding it, all the money that was spent on that opera could actually, and there are statistics for this, they could have fixed poverty.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well,
that was such a scam.
And we look at whatever it was, the 350,000 that was saved on the cladding of Grenfell,
Yeah.
which not only led to, an appalling fire and
At least
people
72 dead
dying
people.
and people's lives being ruined, but them having spent 300 million quid on buying new homes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole of the
Stitch in time saves
Well,
nine.
exactly. £276,000, I think it was, and we've lost up to £1 billion probably altogether. And of course, lives and hearts and minds.
Well, minds as well. I mean, have we got any solutions? Is there anything that we can do?
Well, I do. My compassionate Kensington bit is I want to boost the sort of activism across the borough, because I do think when I talk to people in South Ken about the terrible things that the council are trying to do to them, it's the same, that we speak the same language, really.
Because that was a case that just happened last year, where a group of residents in South Kensington stopped the council from trying to redevelop.
Yeah.
But they were much more kind of affluent people, but they kind of got
actually,
it.
somebody stood up.
Yeah.
It's also in the book. Somebody stood up at a meeting, at a planning meeting, and said, "You're just in the pockets of the developers."
Because Piers and I are both part of this. We're looking now at the upcoming local plan that's in the ether, as it were.
In the works.
In the works.
Yeah.
Is this worth? I mean, would you say that as a community we should be getting more involved in planning and trying to change things?
Absolutely, because it is the key. I'm still the planning spokes, because none of my new colleagues on the council wanted to do that. It's a bit early days for them. So I'll be doing a response to that as well. It's definitely worth it. They do sometimes take what we say into account. And if they don't, we are at least extremely well versed in how the planning system works. And it is one of our common denominators, because that is what changes our lives or makes our lives better or ruins them, is the planning system, actually. What is allowed to happen in our neighbourhoods.
And I mean, the only upside in some ways is that since the atrocities at Grenfell, they are actually having to listen to those of us up here almost as much as they would listen to people further south in the
Absolutely.
In the
No,
And
they
I think
do.
there's been a change of officers as well, because I know, for example, with the library recently, I've been quite pleasantly surprised by the way they've engaged with us as the sort of friends of North Kensington, are allowed to be saved, and they wouldn't have done that prior to Grenfell.
I think the officers, the good council officers, are absolutely delighted when they're treated properly by people like us, and they will work very well with us. And we have to remember that a lot of them are on their side and they want to do a really good job. They're certainly listening better. Whether or not they're going to change their minds about things, I don't know. But we do have to step up and work together in activism.
They listen, but do they hear?
Exactly.
Emma, we're just going to play a song for you, Clean Up Woman,
Okay.
and then we're going to find out how we can get hold of the book.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
A clean-up woman is a woman who gets all the love we girls leave behind. The reason I know so much about 24 hours a day. The clean-up woman, she'll sweep him off his feet. She's the one who'll take him in when you dump him in the street. So take a tip, you better get hip to the clean-up woman, 'cause she's tough. I mean, she really cleans up.
Yeah, that is very right. We are here talking to the clean-up woman, Emma Dent Code, who has just written a book which is shining light, we hope, on some of the murkier corners of the shenanigans at RBKC. Emma, your book came out yesterday.
Yes, it published yesterday. It's available in all good bookshops, online, and so on. It's also in audio, and I recorded it myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the people who were helping to record were very sweet, and they said it brought them to tears, which was some bits of it,
nice.
Some bits of it are quite tough to read, actually. Well, the Grenfell bits, obviously, but also the frustration of where money's gone and so on, and it is it's quite distressing.
You read 231 pages.
Yes, I did.
Wow. Okay. Go, Emma.
Just for the record, if I make any profit out of it, which is unlikely, but if I do, it'll go to charity. I don't want blood money, and I haven't done it for that. I've done it to have the record, have everything on record from the inside.
And
which
there
is
it
what it's
is
all
in the
about.
British Library right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I
the
really
record.
I love the cover. I was looking
Yeah.
forward to getting this book just because it reminds me of that kind of design with the red and the grey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
What's this?
Grenfell Tower before refurbishment, and a rather lovely
house in
neoclassical
Chelsea.
house, yeah, in Chelsea, probably. Yeah.
Oh, Gary Laguerre, how are you doing, my brother?
Fabulous. Emma, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before you go, how are you finding the transition across Ladbroke Grove from Goulburn to St Helens?
Amazing, actually. I've lived in St Helens
the
for a
coffee
very, very
shops
long
better?
time.
St Helens?
And it's nice to be able to look after my neighbours because they always wanted me to, so that's good. And they've got lots of stuff going on, plenty to keep me busy, and a lot of unmet need. So we'll be working really hard with my lovely colleague,
Lovely
Portia.
Portia. Go on,
Incredible
sister.
Portia, yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, I love it. 2 women kicking ass in St Helens.
We are indeed, as we say, we are your Rottweilers.
Excellent.
Thank you, Emma Dent
Yes.
Code. One Kensington is published by Quercus and is available in all good shops. Try and get it in a shop, not from Amazon if you possibly can, but it is obviously, if you have to, available from Amazon. Thank you, Aretha Franklin.
Take me to heart, and I'll always love you. And nobody can make me do wrong. Take me for granted, leaving love unshown. Makes willpower weak and temptation strong. A woman's only human. You should understand. She's not just a plaything. She's flesh and blood, just like her man. If you wanna do right, whole day, woman, you gotta be a do right, whole night man. Yeah, they say that it's a man's world, but you can't prove that by you should understand. She's not just a plaything. She's flesh and blood, just like a man. If you wanna do right, hold days, woman, you gotta be a do-right, whole nice man. Gotta be a do-right, whole nice man.
Yeah, Do Right Woman, Do Right Man by Aretha Franklin. Thank you, Emma. You can get her book at all good bookshops. We urge you to go to an actual bookshop.
Not to Amazon, according to Piers. He's not a supporter of Amazon.
Well, you know what? Like everyone else, I use it all the time, but it makes me feel bad. We're
Yeah.
delighted to. We're delighted to
I
introduce
think we most feel like that, most of us.
our next guest, Greg Poole. Hi, Greg.
Hi guys, how you doing? Good
Really
to see
well.
you all. Good to
Yeah,
see
we've
you
got
all.
two Gregs in the studio. Two, not one, but two.
Well,
First-
can I say both of us looking absolutely fantastic.
Thank
on
you,
this fine
darling. Thank
afternoon.
you.
And you both got
Yay.
you got lots of hair as well going on, both of
Absolutely.
you. It's a kind of
Yeah,
hair
we're not
thing.
going to talk about the hair. We'll just keep it from the front,
Yeah.
shall we? Thank you very much. Thank you
No
very much.
photographs.
Wicked.
Greg, we are here because 20 years ago this week, all our dearly beloved, but particularly your dear beloved, Evelyn Doggett, passed away. She was an icon of the neighbourhood through the 80s and
She
90s.
was a bit of a fixture, wasn't she? She was an absolute queen of the area with the flowers in her hair bobbing up and down Portobello Road.
Whatever she was doing, I mean, she was obviously one of the stalwarts of Panto.
Absolutely.
We put that picture up. A lot of people listening will have been alerted to this by the picture of Evie I put up on Facebook. For those who don't know, can you just tell them who Evie was?
Well, Evelyn Doggett was she was an actress. She was, as we said, she was a bit of a fixture around Portobello. Everybody knew her. Everybody loved her. She was bouncing up and down Portobello Road, going to the gym, hanging out in the bars, doing all the, shaking her booty with with the general Portobello population. But yeah, fantastic woman, absolute. 20 years though, Piers. 20 years, and can I say we've not aged a bit. But yeah, no, on a more serious note, 20 years. So I thought, what a great idea. Come on, pay a little tribute for her, for my boy who's out there, her little legacy, Iggy, who you've
He
met.
comes around my house quite often.
Does he now? Well, we'll get to know about
No,
that.
but I got a message actually from Jenny Tong asking what happened to her boy, and I was able to say, don't worry, Iggy, it seems to be fine. His only problem is he's a friend of my daughter's.
Oh,
which is not good
it
for
all goes
everyone.
round in circles, isn't it? Absolutely. Fantastic
Tell us a
stuff.
little bit. You've written a song.
So I wrote
which
this
you wrote
song
a couple
quite a
of
while ago. It's almost my catharsis, if I'm using that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it took a while. It took a long time to write. Very simple, but it had to be right. It was one of those that was not going out there to anybody unless it was right. And thankfully, we recorded it with a beautiful bunch of people. Fernando, videographer, Joe Dvorniak, Riverfish Music, producing. And we captured a little bit of magic I think we captured a little bit of magic doing that. So yeah, and this is for her from me. It's about me letting go. It's about having contentment as well. And, there's a sadness, but there's a hope in there. I know
There's
that
hope.
sounds absolutely corny, cheesy, cliche, but I don't care. That's what it is.
Angel for Evie.
She
sky'd not yet turned blue. Yet she flew. She took leave. Stepped out into the new and tore herself in two. And she tore her wings off and threw 'em back. She shut her pianos down and covered all her tracks. And she is the way to now. And she is the way to now. Well, the lights were. She turned down the radio. She shut transmission down. And wrapped herself in cloud. Well, the nights were slow. Out there in the afterglow, ghosts chasing round, the knife coming down, down.
That is Angel. And that's by Gregory Paul. What's the name of the band that made that? Is it you? Or
We were going under Ryder at the time.
Ryder.
We're sort of around, but not necessarily that active right now.
Right.
Ryder, R-H-Y-D-E-R.
Cool, just in case anybody wants to check you out.
So you...
Yeah, I had a question for you because obviously it's 20 years now since Evie passed. And I'm just wondered, have you managed to get over this passing of your partner?
That's an interesting question that I don't think
Is it possible?
I've got an answer for you, Isis. I think it's one of those things that, you know, do you or do you not? You can't. There's no sort of defining line. I don't think. I think you just carry it, and it's there, and occasionally it pops. It pops up and rears itself, and you just it becomes a bit of a friend. You know, it's a friend of yours. It pops its head up, and you feel a bit whatever, but you know, it's real. It's real. You carry it. You learn to carry it, and.
How's it feel? I mean, you're not here all the time. You know, I used to see you most days up and down the street. You're not here so much. You actually, when Evie passed, you were working next door at Ceres or Grange Store or whatever it was. It was called.
When the French guy was there.
Absolutely, Francois. Yeah.
So, what's it like coming? I mean, you arrived early. You went for a little wander. How's it feel coming back? I mean.
Very strange, actually, Piers. I haven't been down here for a while. I just took a walk around the corner to see the old house, the old pink house, as we called it, because it's pink, amazingly.
On
so that's
Road,
okay,
right?
that's where you were.
Colville houses just around the corner. Yeah. So, very strange, very strange. And this time of year, with the kind of the sun getting a bit lower, a bit watery, it just gives me that feeling. I got that feeling again, you know, of sort of missing her almost. And I could have walked into that house. Yeah, it just takes you back.
Because I have a thing about seeing your past selves walking along roads.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it takes you into that past self, doesn't it? And you kind of go, hang on, that was 20 years ago.
I was that person, yeah.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago. Big man yourself up, boy. Not quite sure what that means, Greg. Any ideas?
I don't know. Are we going to go LGBT on this one?
Yeah, we'll just cut to Greg on that one.
Wicked.
No, fantastic. But there's the track. Very personal to me. This is also a bit of a tribute to Iggy, my boy, who's out there, hopefully listening. 20 years old, as we were speaking about him before. Just to mark 20 years. And
it's a significant 2 decades, man. Come on. You had a child, you had a baby, and now you have a man. So it shows you what a transformation.
Oh, it is beautiful. And thanks for letting me come on as well.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. That's really important.
Thanks for sharing that. Greg, you've done an amazing job. Iggy, who I know, because he's a friend of my daughter's, is
Piers prides himself on thinking he's a
individual,
youth, and he hangs out with all the young people.
Tall and strong. Everyone, you know, I put a picture of Evie up just to say it's 20 years since she passed, and the outpouring of love was amazing. She touched so many people, mainly from being just so spunky, but also by being part of this neighborhood. And her passing kind of really reminds you of that communal, kind of all based in the Warwick era that we had in this area.
We lament
that.
We're always lamenting on Portobello Radio about those past days.
Everybody had a connection there.
She stands as a symbol of that period when we didn't give a flying F.
Absolutely, and a lot of great things were going on. There's still a lot of great things going on. That's not what I'm saying, but there were a lot of fantastic things going on at that time as well.
Yeah. Greg, thanks for coming in to talk to us. That is a beautiful song.
Thanks for having me, guys. With that song, you can catch the video on YouTube as well, actually, if you fancy it. Which is
RHYDER.
RHYDER.
Angel
Oh, amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
And she
Thank you
was.
so much, Greg, for coming down. You've got to come down whenever you've got any more new releases. Please keep
Oh,
it.
you don't want to
keep
say
it
that, Greg,
local.
because I'll be in here for 24/7,
Yes,
like
please.
Johnny Cash recording absolutely every idea that
I
he comes up
love
with.
it.
In fact, I've got my.
Oh, bless you. No, it's been a real pleasure. A real pleasure. Thank
Brilliant.
you so much for
Fantastic.
coming down. You
Thanks,
are
guys.
a wonderful, wonderful soul. Brilliant,
very
sir.
much.
Absolutely brilliant.
And this is for Evie.
Lucy Lou, with my girl Drew, Cameron D and Destiny, Charlie's Angels, come on. Question, tell me what you think about me. I buy my own, tell me buy my own rings. Only ring your celly when I'm feeling lonely. When it's all over, please get up and leave. Question, tell me how you feel about this. Try to control me, boy, you get dismissed. Pay my own condo and I pay my own bills. Always 50-50 in relationships. The shoes on my feet, I bought you. Wearing, I Charlie, how your angels get down like that? Girl, I didn't know you could get down like that. Charlie, how your angels get down like that? Tell me how you feel about this. Do what I want, live how I wanna live. I worked hard and sacrificed to get what I get. Ladies, it ain't easy being independent. Question, how'd you like this knowledge that I brought? Bragging on that cash that he gave you is the front. If you're gonna brag, make sure it's your money you front. Depend on no one else to give you what you want. Shoes on my feet, clothes I'm wearing, the watch I'm rocking. 'Cause I depend on me. If I want it, the watch I'm wearing, the house I live in, the car I'm driving. I depend on me. I depend on me. Hey, hey, oh. Throw your hands up, baby. Get down like that. Charlie, how your angels get down. Girl, I didn't know you could get down like that. Charlie, how your angels get down like that. Destiny's Child. What's up? You and I have. Show up. We'll break these people off, angel style. Child of destiny. Angels get down like that.
Yes,
Yes,
all right,
indeed.
ladies
So
and
that was for
gentlemen.
Evie, independent woman.
Yeah, man.
By
absolutely.
Destiny's Child.
Yes, of course. The old
Yay.
bee
Sorry,
before she was
hold
a
on.
bee.
It's on Greg. Take care, mate. Love you. Mental. There you go.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this the Muse Gallery is always a hopping environment, and today more so than ever. We have
Guest
fantastic
after guest after guest. No
and
shortage
we are
of guests.
delighted to welcome to the studio Lord Lightning. Hey
Lord
man, how you doing?
So I have to ask you.
What's up? How's everyone doing out there? I hope everyone's fine. It's
Yeah.
So, brother,
Brilliant.
you're from Chicago,
Chi-town, the
Chi-Town.
big city. the Windy
How
city.
did you get the name Lord Lightning? I have to ask that.
Actually, it's the Lord of Lightning.
The Lord, OMG, sorry,
there
the
we go.
Lord of Lightning.
And that's his website, ladies and gentlemen, www.thelordoflightning.net.
.net.
.net. Like me, I'm .net too.
Check it out.
It's a way to go.
So how did you get the name?
It came to me in a dream.
Wow. You were inspired.
Definitely.
Cool. Okay.
So we met you through Alex Horn, who's from West London Repairers, or whatever they're called, West Central London Repairers. And actually, we need to see Alex because one of our mixers needs repairing. But
Okay.
that's another issue.
Yeah, man.
He bumped into you playing on the street and sent me a message saying, "This guy's amazing. You've got to get hold of him." You've only recently arrived in the UK, but you've got a long and varied, rich history over there in the States, playing with all sorts of people.
Yeah, I've done some things here and there. Work with people like Luther Allison in Europe also too. Buddy guy, we had jams together. And, worked in the film industry too with Dan Aykroyd and James Brown and Chuck Berry. I met all these guys in the film industry before they died, you know.
Right.
What were you doing in the film? Were you in the Blues Brothers?
Not in that one. Not in that one. Yeah,
What were you doing in the film industry?
Well, I was just working like as an actor, you know.
Okay. So you're an actor as well as a singer. Okay, multi-talented.
Sure. I just do what I have to do. You know, nowadays you have to do everything. The more you do, the better off you'll be.
You sound like a young person, man.
Well,
So you have to be
youth stays with me all the time.
a jack of all trades and a master of most.
How very polite.
Thank you very much.
And you also appeared on one album that got Grammy nominated.
Yeah, I did that. That was a Grammis nomination in Sweden on what's that? Sony Epic Records. I was a guest artist of the Teddy Bears. It's one of the better artists that the Swedish have right now. In fact, they're involved in so many different projects, you know, and that was fabulous because they work with Britney Spears, they work with Madonna, they work with Elephant Man, all types of people.
Wow, that's some diverse artists right
Yeah,
there.
really. And, Swing Fly.
So you're going to play us a tune now.
Yeah, I am. It's just a tune that a blues tune that I wrote some years ago, and I recorded it but haven't released that yet. But it's called Bible Blues.
But before you sing this tune, you have to say that one thing that you said to me. I asked you about the genre of music, and you said it is?
Yeah, well, actually on my album, that album is called Super Pimp. That's kind of like a new sound, and it's basically out of Space Wave, created Space Wave. Dynamic linear space music. In the realms of rock, funk, blues, soul, and African groove, but is yet more technical and sophisticated, leaning more towards the futuristic trend of evolutionary origin, thus creating a new dimensional phase of sound.
So we're talking
Afrofuturism, brother.
So wake up. You got to just get on that website and check me out. And what you're going to hear right now is some real urban blues called the Bible Blues. All right, you ready?
This sounds straight out of the Parliament Funk or something. This is mental.
George Clinton did ask me to play bass. You know, I know him also. Yeah.
And you are connected, sir. You are so connected.
Are
Brilliant.
you ready?
Let's go for it. Have you got something on this guitar, bro? Absolutely, bro. Yeah. Go for it whenever you're ready, sir.
God made Alan, baby. God made Eve. God made everything wonderful. Yes, He did. Made the birds and bees. Well, you know. Bible blues and Bible blues. Bible blues, yeah. They'll be on them all. Lord knows if you don't pray, yeah, you're gonna lose. The Bible talks about Exodus, Lord knows, moving in the people too. Talks about Moses and the Pharaohs. Don't forget the Jews too. Well, you know, it's Bible blues, Bible blues. They'll be no tomorrow. Lord knows if you don't do the right thing, you're gonna lose. Ooh. All right now. The Bible talks about Abraham, Lord knows. Jacob and Isaac too. Talks about the devil, yeah. Yes, he had the blues too. Oh, well, you know, oh, Bible blues, no Bible blues. If you don't do the right thing, yeah, Lord knows, you're surely gonna lose. That Bible talks about Revelation, Lord knows, prophecy of John. Talk about that final war. Ask Mr. Putin, they call it Armageddon. Well, you know, Bible blues, Bible blues, Bible blues. There'll be no tomorrow. Lord knows. Oh, if you don't pray, you're gonna lose. Yeah, Bible blues, Bible blues. Hey,
Fantastic. Fantastic. We've taken the opportunity to bring our next guest, B, who's from Subterranea, in at the same time. Lord Lightning, come back in here, because you two know each other. That's why I brought you here. B, yeah, it is. We'll ask you why you know the Lord Lightning in a minute, B. But you mentioned it being urban blues. Of course, the blues started in the Delta, the Mississippi Delta, and then there was a migration north in response to.
Well, it actually started in Africa, but yeah.
All right.
Then it ended up in
start in
Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I stand corrected. American blues started in the Delta.
There you go.
Robert Johnson, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the man who sold his soul to the devil in return.
Well, he actually didn't sell his soul to the devil. He actually met Eshu at the crossroads.
All right. Okay. I stand corrected one more time.
I know my stuff.
We're going to start the show again. I'm getting everything wrong.
No, that's the American version. I'm just going back a little bit further, my brother.
How did the blues... You're playing Chicago blues, and Chicago was at the other end of the river, and that's where a lot of people ended up, Detroit, Chicago.
Well,
how does the blues change as it goes north?
The Great Migration.
Well, there was a whole migration, just like she mentioned, for people going up north. That's where the money was. That's where the greatest part of the fame could be captured. And most of the blues artists heard about the Mecca city, Chicago. And they were coming by the flocks there. A guy named, John Lee Hooker.
Oh, yes.
He was one of the most famous ones, but he decided not to come to Chicago.
Where did he
they
go?
asked him, why didn't you go to Chicago? He said, well, they were too damn good going there. I went to Detroit. And thank goodness he went to Detroit, because he flourished, he blew up, and there was. The rest is history. I think that he was one of the artists that recorded more records than anybody else.
Yeah, indeed.
He lived
Well, of
longer.
course, you got the Chess Brothers once you got to Chicago.
Yeah, well, the Chess Brothers, these guys were something else. I'm from Hyde Park. This is where Barack Obama was living, and my family lived there before. And they said that Chess Records was started in Hyde Park, and then they moved a little bit further north of Chicago, still on the south side, and then they gradually blew up and grabbed all these crazy people, and eventually the Rolling Stones recorded at their studio and stuff like that. I was a fan of the Rolling Stones too. My first drummer influence was Charlie Watts, Charles Watts. People don't believe that, Charles Watts,
So tell us the difference between North Side Chicago and South Side, because a lot of people who've read a little bit of history of rock and roll may know a little bit about it. But
well, the North Side is kind of like where the blues has really been commercialized, to a really greater extent. But whereas the blues musicians themselves, they went and migrated to the South Side and also the West Side. You had two different types of players from those two areas. And it's funny, like I said, that the blues, in essence, the black man, his blues, it came from those two areas. But on the North Side, this is where the white folks had all the money to make money, for you to make a living. And all the clubs and all the stuff was there, mostly all of it.
and you had
there.
people like Mitch Ryder, is it? And
Yeah. There were a lot of white folks that come through there were really great. Who put yourself forward, and the people got to a point where you were making that connection with them, well, then you had something to work with, you know.
Why do you think it became such a zeitgeist for the white American? Part of this migration was escaping things like Jim Crow and all the horrors of racism in the South. Then you go up north, and then the music really gels together, and you get this kind of, you know, like you mentioned, what's his name from the Blues Brothers?
Aykroyd.
Yeah. I mean, that film is like an iconic film, and it's really two white guys just singing that music and showcasing all these African American artists.
That's true. Quite a few other movies that gave rise to some black artists too, and Aretha Franklin was in that Blues Brothers, I understand. And Dr. Detroit. Dr. Detroit, that was a movie that I was in with James Brown also too. You know, that's where I met James Brown in California with him and his wife on the set. You know, and he was in fact, in that movie also Fran Dresser, she became the nanny. She was coming up. Also, Lynn Whitfield was there, and she became big too. And it was great working with Dan Aykroyd, this fabulous guy. But James Brown, this man was just absolutely one of my heroes, you know, because he was so responsible for everything.
For everything.
I mean, everything. He wasn't just one man. I mean, the guy was just super brilliant. I mean, just like Michael Jackson never would have existed without this man.
Yeah.
You know,
Or Prince.
Or anyone.
Or Prince, any of them, really, because the guy had so much energy and so much creativity, you know, and just like George Clinton said, everything was on the one with him. Funk started on the one, you know.
I remember I went to work at a nightclub in the late 70s.
I knew you were going to tell this story.
And my first 5 nights were 2 shows a night of James Brown, and he changed the set for every single show. And he did that thing of calling out the guitarist when he played a bum note, stopped the song, called him out, and started again. Can we introduce B? B, hi.
Yes, hello.
B
Thanks for having me.
is now at Subterranean. You know the Lord Lightning. How do you know each other?
Well, it was a lovely meeting, actually. We met at our other venue, Powerhouse, which is originally called Dingwalls.
Right, in what we used to call Camden.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and we had a lovely long chat, and you showed me the history of what you've done, and you showed me all your sort of newsletters, and it was amazing. Yeah, and I showed you the venue, and I think we'll have him in to play at some point.
In Dingwalls,
Yeah.
and that is not that far away. Just get on the
Yeah.
328 or the 31, and you're up in Chalk Farm and Camden Town.
I didn't know that that Camden was the special rock area. This is the place where all this rock music had come up and was promulgated, you know.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's I don't know if you
Dingwalls.
came down on the 31, but the 31 bus used to run from World's End, Chelsea, where people like the Pistols, Led Zeppelin, the Stones lived down there. It went through
really? Wow.
up Earl's Court to Notting Hill, where we started with the reggae and everything else. It went up through Kilburn, where
Yeah.
Vince also has
Yeah,
a
yeah,
number
yeah.
of venues,
Fiddler.
and ended up. Went through Camden, ended up at the Roundhouse at Chalk Farm, which is where everyone from the Doors to the Stranglers to the Ramones to
Yeah.
the
Everyone played there, huh?
Rock and roll.
No,
Yeah.
that was the
it was
place.
the rock and roll bus, man.
Yeah.
I remember my mates drove me up there, and I had at the time I played Dingwalls. We opened up a show for some band, I forgot the name of it, but anyway, my mates were British, and they drove the car, and I remember coming to this lock and this place up on the high, elevated place, and this was Dingwalls. And when I came here this time, I just happened to look down one day at the lock, and it just seems like this was a very familiar place. And sure enough, I looked up, it says Dingwalls. I said, this is this place that I played. I didn't know, where it was. I didn't know London that well.
The Lord Lightning, before you go, we need you to play one more tune.
Okay, let's see.
What are you going to do for us?
Let's try this. This is a little something that I sampled off and tried to get a deal with too, but it's actually was written by Seals and Croft, and they gave the rights to a lot of people, including the Isley Brothers, So I have a little version that goes like this. Let's see, it starts off like this. Oh, 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 God. Oh, 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 yeah. Woo! Oh, 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 in the moment, girl. Oh, 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 in the moment, girl. Listen to the raindrop fall. Summer breeze makes me feel fun, girl. Summer breeze, me feel fun. Oh, 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 oh. Summer breeze makes me feel fun, girl. You blow into the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze make me feel fun. Summer breeze makes me feel fun, girl. Summer breeze, me feel fun. Oh, 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 yeah. Woo! I believe you're rainbow, rainbow. Hey, all the heaven I need to see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're the promises. Woo, everlasting girl, you know. Girl, you know. Where you are, it's my concern. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, make me say, elegant girl, gun girl. Make me say, hey, elegant girl. All I need, I still love him. Oh, yes, I do, not, darling. Oh, oh, summer breeze makes me feel fun. Blowing through the jasmines in my mind. Woo! Hey girl, 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 hey girl. Summer breeze, summer breeze, summer breeze. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Hey.
Hey. That is the Lord Lightning. You can find him on www.thelordlightning.net. Thank you for coming in, man.
It's a pleasure.
We're going to talk to you in a minute about whether you're available on the bus tomorrow. But we got to talk to our next guest, B.
Thank you, Lord Lightning.
Thank you, Lord Lightning. So, B, you are here because Subterranea is back up and running. Just
It
for
is
those,
indeed.
for those of you who don't know what Subterranea is, it used to be the Acklam Hall, it used to be Neighbourhood, it used to be the Sub Club, it used to be the Sub Club, it used to be
Gone through the roller
Mode,
coasters, yeah.
but it's back to being Subterranea.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
going on, B?
So I've got an event on the 4th of November. It's a techno house event.
Oh.
We've got Henry Bergman, she's headlining. Luke Branciel, it's hard to pronounce. Colin Dale, Grant Lee, and the other one.
Yeah, someone really good.
But yeah, it's a mixture of Union Jack. Mixture of house, techno, bit of trance in there as well.
Tell us about what's happening at Subterranean, because we've had Femi in, who did rotation just before Christmas. Not Christmas, Carnival. Carnival, the other thing we like. Yeah. Do please let Isis speak if she wants to.
Oh, thank you, Piers. You're so kind.
So, B, can we expect Subterranea to be open every weekend, kind of going forward?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the hope.
Yeah.
You know, we reopened in May and had Jamie T and Riz Ahmed sell out shows. So, you know, moving forward, that is our hope. because it's a very special venue. It's one of my favourites, and it's really the only venue around here that's, you know, the biggest.
Yeah, and
600
has a late license.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sadly departed, of course, is the West Bank, where we used to put on gigs till 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
So, are there any changes? What can we expect? Can we still go and smoke round the back, just there by the
Yeah,
Hammersmith to the
we've got a
City line?
smoking area at the back, right by the railway, so you get to see the trains on the way. But yeah, no, we're trying to, you know, the party on the 4th of November is a celebration of it reopening. You know, we do concentrate on live music, but we're kind of expanding to, you know, DJ events, club nights, get things going. And yeah, I think everyone in the local area and around London will want that. And these DJs I've got together, I've come across them over festivals and nightclubs, and I'm a real fan of techno and house, and yeah, it definitely gets you moving and dancing.
Great.
Yeah.
And what happens if, I mean, we just had the Lord Lightning on. If there are promoters around here who've got a good thing, I mean, I used to promote Gaz back in the day.
Yeah.
Can they give you a call? Can they?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's
All
the vibe?
for it. So we can, go onto our website as well, subterranea.net. The tickets as well are on Resident Advisor. The tickets are limited at the moment, early birds, so get into it. Yeah, absolutely.
And have you got new restrictions down there at all? I mean, what time's the license?
So license is midnight.
Oh, so that has.
Yeah. So, but club nights, we get a few of them a year. Goes up to about 3 a.m.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, pretty good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, we hope you'll come back and tell us about what's
yeah.
going on around about Christmas, particularly.
I will do. Yeah.
If any of us have any money left. Oh, luckily we've just had a tax cut. We're okay. You're no longer on 45% tax. B, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Remind
for
us
having
of
me.
the website address.
Subterranea.net, and the night is 4th of November. Get on it.
Get on it. Thank you, B.
Brilliant. Thank you.
We're going to be talking to Will Singh in a minute, but Isis, you have a tune. Yes, we do.
This train, the train, this train. This train is a clean train. This train. Train is a clean train. Everybody ride it. Train. This train have left the station. This train. This train have left the station. This train. This train have left the station. This train takes on every nation. This train is a clean train. This train. She travels straight to the uppermost. This train. She travels straight to the uppermost. This train. She travels straight to the uppermost. Nothing can ride her but the blood-washed host, because this train is a clean train. This train. This train don't gamblers, this train. This train don't fool no gamblers, this train. This train don't pull no gambler, no 4 days creeper, no midnight rambler, because this train is a clean train. This train don't pull no liars. This train don't pull no liars. This train don't pull no liars, no false pretenders, and no backbiter, because this train is a clean train. This train.
Who was that, Piers?
That was Sister Rosetta Tharpe,
She was indeed the blues woman.
the blues woman. And talking about the blues, last week we forgot to send out oil sitting out there in the Emerald Isle. And actually we'd like to shout out all our Irish listeners, but Tara, thank you. And Tara and her partner Stephen are two of the three people, along with yourself, Isis, who have put their names down for bucket hats.
Yes, bucket hats, people. Bucket hats. We're going to roll out some designs.
Yeah. Happy birthday. So, we are delighted to welcome our next guest, Will Singh. Hello, Will.
Hello.
Hi. Now, Will, you have an event on Sunday. You're part of the Delgado Trust. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, thanks very much. So I work for an organisation called Hope for the Future,
Mhm.
which works
brilliant.
on help. It's good, right? We prefer
Yeah.
hope to the opposite.
Yeah.
whatever that would be.
Absolutely, of course.
That's just despair.
But
That's
a lot,
what we're
which
called.
there's a lot of at the moment, to be fair. So trying to promote some hope. So yeah, we're running an event at the Delgado Trust, all about air pollution. So we know that this is one of the most serious environmental justice issues in London at the moment. There was a study done a few years ago which found that 1 in 12 of all deaths in this borough were the result or could be linked to air pollution.
Yeah. We know about that.
Huge issue. So we're trying to bring all the communities together in this part of London at the Delgado Trust. It's 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. There'll be an opportunity to learn from some experts. There'll be activities for all children, families, free lunch as well, I should say, which is always good.
That's always good.
And then in the afternoon, we'll be running workshops, trying to bring everyone together and put this together into a campaign for change locally. And we'll be running some trainings to show people how they can go about doing that.
I mean, a lot of people will know where Delgado is, but you just want to remind them where the event is actually being held.
Yep, so it's in the Delgado Trust.
Underneath Trellick Tower, we ran the stage. We had Low Key, we had the Goldborns, we had Kids on the Green, we had all your favourite local acts.
Rumsey, who's actually performed at Tavistock on Sunday, was absolutely spectacular.
Rotten Hill Gang and all sorts. And
All kind of people.
we are continuing with a week, basically a film week, or it's centred around a film week, and it's going to be in the very same place on the beach, which is round the back of, it's the graffiti beach, it's round the back of the basketball court, round there underneath, below Trellick Tower. It starts on Sunday. Portobello Radio stuff doesn't start till Monday, but tell us a bit about Sunday, because you're doing the thing with the Laria.
Yeah, so on Sunday, Ilaria and I are doing, we spoke about it last week, we're doing the Words on Clothes, which is for, well, mainly for women and girls, but anyone's welcome actually. And the idea is to upcycle your old clothes and write some stuff on it, jazz it up, or zhuzh it up, is it zhuzh it up?
Zhuzh it up would do,
and,
yeah.
and put, could be jazzing it up too. And you maybe do some, I'll do a little bit of poetry writing, some affirmations and stuff, so you can walk around just like standing in your power and promoting your power. But we're also doing some dystopian films, a section of the event, and we're going to be showing quite a few brilliant films. Demolition Man, V for Vendetta, Children of Men, which I'm hosting, and The Book of Eli,
Book
which
of Eli.
our lovely Salvador Dali of Rave, Junior Tomlin, will be hosting.
Yes, Book
And-
of Eli, High Rise, we've got La Haine, a fabulous French
And
film.
on Monday, we've got a celebration of Kelso Cochrane's life, because it would have been his birthday on Monday. And as you know, we launched the Kelso Cochrane Archive. We've done a lot of stuff, Portobello Radio, collaboratively with that. So from 4 till 6, myself and some other people, including Kelso's niece and one of his great nephews, will be at the library.
His niece actually was on this show, I think.
Yeah,
was she
Millicent.
not? Couple of years
Millicent
ago.
Cochrane and Wayne Cochrane. They will be at the library, and we're inviting people to meet them, talk a bit about Kelso, talk about the archive. How do you want to get involved? And of course, the wonderful friend of Portobello Radio, Alexander D. Great, my favorite calypsonian, will be performing the Kelso Cochrane Calypso in the library at 5:30, and then later on we'll be showing Pressure and
The Horace Ove, classic Horace Ove movie.
And the other film
music
about
by Dennis Bovell.
Thank you. And Alex will also be doing a live performance there as well.
Brilliant.
So
Sounds amazing. And
it's
then the whole.
fun-filled and packed.
Then
So it's a whole. It starts on Sunday, goes through till the following Sunday.
Yep.
During the week, broadly speaking, the schedule is at 1 o'clock. We will be welcoming some primary school children
Wonderful.
down there.
Brilliant.
We'll be talking to them, training them. They'll be probably watching Faye and myself putting the stuff together,
Brilliant.
which will be very
Educational.
educational.
Yeah.
We're going to go live at 2. Probably, we're saying till 3. It'll probably be till 2:45. We're going to have 45 minutes of young people doing Portobello Radio, which is a kind of insight into what this might be like in about 5 or 6 years' time.
Absolutely.
We hope.
Yeah.
When school finishes, which is, say,
I think
3 o'clock,
3:30.
3:30, there will be kids' activities for a couple of hours. Then at, hey Amir, then at 5 or 6, there will be something that is curated by the Portobello Film Festival, and there'll be a selection of community films, and that'll go on.
Curated by Pavilion Hive.
I thought that was created by
No, that's us, Pavilion Hive, doing the film.
Oh no, but it says that the community films are coming from.
Cool.
Oh,
Can you
Portobello
guys get on
Radio.
with it? We've got
Yeah,
about
so-
30 seconds of the
okay.
entire show left, and we've got one more guest to do as well.
All right. Well, we've got loads going on.
Yeah,
It's
lots of
all
things happening.
next
Just
week.
come down. That's the most important thing. We've
Check
got lots.
out trellicktower.com/50.
And don't
There's
let
so
rain
much
or
going on.
cold weather put you off. We've got everything in hand.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. This weekend coming up, we've got the Art Bus. If you're listening to us on Friday, the 23rd of September 2022, then the Art Bus is on tomorrow. And this show is probably repeated just before the Art Bus. The Art Bus kicks off on the Portobello Road, the junction of the Portobello Road and Cambridge Gardens. And we will meet there on a big red bus. Jump on the bus, come round. It's going to take about 3.5 hours to go around the entire area, jumping off at every single art gallery that we encounter, which there's loads of little bijou art galleries in and around this area, so it's going to be absolutely great fun. I've got a funny feeling we're going up to Kensal Rise, somebody told me earlier on today, so
Well,
a
we're
slightly
going
different
all
route, but
over the place.
it's going to be mental, absolutely mental.
Yeah, no one tells us nothing.
No one tells us
But
nothing,
where
mate.
do you meet? You meet at midday. You meet at what used to be the usual suspects.
Now it's a big teddy
on
bear.
the corner of Oxford Gardens and Portobello
Oxford
Road.
Gardens. I misled you earlier by saying Cambridge Gardens,
Oxford-
which was the bit that
It's
Piers
the big
missed.
Luap
Yeah.
teddy bear.
The big teddy bear.
I think that's even been overwritten. It's a load of hearts now. It's a great big
Okay.
heart.
Hearts.
So yeah,
It's
absolutely
all
brilliant.
change here.
After
Now,
that, we've got Saturday sessions. We've got Noel Watson, we've got Hucker, he's just dropped his thing off. We've got Foreign Office, DJ for Blue, Chris Sullivan, and Disco 45, Jason Nixon. And then, of course, on the Sunday morning, we have the Talk Radio session, which repeats our most fabulous show from the Irish Cultural Centre in Hammersmith. So if you want a bit of Irish culture, then tune in mainly on Sunday morning, I'd say, from midday, and then you get 2 hours live from the Irish Cultural Centre, followed by Noel Watson's fresh show over from Belfast. It's absolutely brilliant.
And if
It
you want
is.
to take a little break from Portobello Radio between 4 and 6, you can join me, the Eclectic Goddess, on Ferferity Radio, when my special guest will be the legend himself, who is Amon Sabasakana, founder of Karnak House, which was just around the corner, one of the first African or black publishing houses in the UK. So, yeah.
So, yeah, and as you all know, this show repeats on Saturday at midday and Sunday at 10 a.m. Now, there were some great folk from the Maida Cafe were listening to the Rewind. Big shout out to Adam 1, Ibrahim, Mohammed, Melanie, Sue, Adam 2, Ron and Joyce. And they sent us some questions for
good.
Jammer. You
Nice.
remember Jammer, the man in the suit, who was here last week? He seems to be filling all our
Yay,
social media.
Penny in the house!
They had a couple of questions, and here are Jammer's answers.
Good evening, Christian. Oh, sorry, Piers. Oh my God, I think my phone is upside down today. And okay, I keep saying, hope you're well. Piers, wonderful to see your messages. You always lift me up. Now I'm just reading your questions, and it's okay. How many suits? Okay, roughly I would say 75 exactly, give or take, around 80 to be precise. Hats, I would say 30. That for sure I know. And shoes, 50. There you go. 30 hats, 50 shoes, and 80 outfits.
Amazing, amazing.
Regards to Greg and Isis.
Oh, big up, Jammer.
Love
Before
Jammer.
I'll let you have a wonderful evening, Piers. Please say thank you. Thank the listeners, how really, really, they warm my heart, every single of them. And also all those people complimenting me on the Facebook. Please convey my thank yous. God bless you, Piers.
Thank you.
So sweet.
Really sweet.
Thank
man.
you, Jammer.
Thank you,
That
Jammer. Yeah, man.
is
The man.
unbelievable.
The man with the volume knob on his suit. Oh, yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at the end. John Lowry, how are you doing? We're going to get our last guest in. We're just going to play a very quick bit of this.
I love Portobello Radio.
Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up, punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up if you got the feeling. Jump up, touch the ceiling, monks, let's a funk flow. Someone's talking junk, yo, I'll bust them in the eye. And then I'll take the punks out, feeling funky. Amps in the trunk and I got more rhymes than this cops at a Dunkin' Donut shop. Sure enough, I got props from the kids on the hill, plus my mom and my pops. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around, jump up and get down. Jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 jump. I'll serve your ass like John McEnroe. If your girl steps up, I'm smacking the hoe. Word to your moms, I came to drop bombs. I got more rhymes than the Bible's got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping on me, you'll get burned. Cause I got lyrics, but you ain't got none. If you come to battle, bring a shotgun. But if you do, you're a fool, cause I do to the death. Trying to step to me, you take your last breath. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when I shoot the gift, I shoot the kill. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, jump, I'm the cream of the crop, I rise to the top. I never eat a pig cause a pig is a cop. Or better yet, a Terminator, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Trying to play me out like as if my name was Sega. But I ain't going out like no punk bitch. Get used to one style of yo, I'm switch it up and around. Then buck, get down, put out your head and then you wake up in the dawn of the dead. I'm coming to get ya, I'm coming to get ya. Spitting out lyrics, homie, I with ya. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, 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 everybody jump, jump, jump. This is dedicated
Jump Around. Mate, absolutely fantastic tune. Love that one to bits. Always have done. It's terrific. Absolutely terrific. So, standing in the wings is the most incredible Just Ben. Is that right? Yeah, pick up the mic, bruv. Pick up the mic, bruv.
I'm Ben, actually.
Good.
I got one name. My great master gave me is Ben Kulu.
Oh, sounds good.
You can call me Ben Kulu Kulu. Kulu Kulu means the big guy, big man.
Yeah.
And I like to talk about those sort of things. And actually, the source of the vibration, where I found it.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Now, I met you, first of all, 2 doors up, in the new bar called Love.
Love, yeah. We had such a good time in Love again.
Mental.
And I suggest this venue is very well.
Okay.
Very good.
Cool. Now, you perform there because it's an open mic carried out by the most amazing Alex Pink.
Big Alex, actually.
Big Alex,
a
as
baritone
he's known.
voice that would get to know more of his own voice to entertain us.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Superb. Absolutely superb. It was a rocking night, actually. It was a random one. I came here after doing the show at the Irish Centre, and I came back here to drop off all the gear back in the Moose Gallery, and you guys were having it large 2 doors up, so I thought I'd pop in for a quick chat.
You know, I mean, things happen like this. You want to find musicians. I usually find them by the trees or in the venues, but never such in the common places.
Okay, cool. Now tell me, what's your next gig?
Really, I guess my next gig will be next Wednesday, next week at the in Love in Portobello Road. And I'm hoping to do a featuring with Mamadou.
Oh wow!
Which got those hands from Senegal.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So,
amazing.
Tell us a little bit about the way it works at Love, because Alex Pink, who we used to get a show off him when we were at the West Bank, but he's now seems to be his entire life is taken up by Vince Power up there in the Mean Fiddler and the Dingwalls, as we talked about a little bit earlier. How does it work at Alex's open mic? Because are you
actually? It's a funny story because Big Alex, I known him for 2 years, and I met him. Well, I call him the king of the Scots. He's a Scots man. He's a character.
When I first met him, he told me he was Scottish. He came from Montrose. I called him Montrose for the first 5 years.
And just from Montreux. No, and we didn't get on at all together. I mean, it happened quite a few times, but in the course of the research to vibration, there is many steps. Anyway, we didn't get on well the first time, and now we seem to be getting on pretty well now.
I can't understand anybody can not get on with Alex. He's such an amenable chap. He's wonderful.
Yeah, only evil can.
So naughty. So naughty. Brilliant.
It's somewhere,
brilliant.
you know, and it's coming, like the horses of apocalypse.
Yeah, too true. Too true.
Ben, thanks for coming on. Do you have music online that people can find?
Well, if you have the guts and the heart and the mind, we can get on a featuring all together, you know, warming up. Actually, I got 2 options. I got option that it's my life's creation, a song that I feel something. Or I could get on really the real thing, but you would not be prepared for that, perhaps. Well, if you want to pack it up, perhaps, or bounce it off, perhaps that would be a sweat in 10 minutes, but we ain't got that. So I'm just gonna go right into the beat. Do you ever sample beats sometimes? Because I could give you the beat with the voice, and you would do a sample, you know? I'm challenging you as well as you challenge me.
Yeah. You are, aren't you?
Otherwise, you'll do the beatbox with your voice.
No, that I can't do. That I can't. I can do a bit of breakdancing, but I can't do the beatbox, man.
The other day I played the Love, but the guitarist, who is a lovely friend, Dennis, happens to be an elderly. I couldn't push him too much. Break a bone.
Nice.
Break a bone. Get up the tune. Give me just a beat, would you? I need a playground. No, I take whatever you gave me, and I will adapt to it as long as it's just a beat. Intima, let it be like a tree. Oh, it seems we're having a little technical glitch. The gang, 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 gang. Oh, what is it? Let me improvise with this anyway. All right. 1, 2. Oh, you sample it like this, right? Do you? Oh, that's funny. Oh yeah, okay. I'm getting used to this. Nice. So I want on the left. The guitar goes. I'm the man by the tree. I'm the one who plays the beat. I'm the man by the tree. Now follow me. Right? Well, what's you get me on? I'm getting moved on. So you guys playing or a cappella instead? It seems we're having a little glitch. We're pushing the limits, huh? You get me something constant, all right? So can go get right on to it, okay? So what was I saying again? All right, whatever. I'm the man by the tree. I'm the one who plays the beat. I'm the man by the tree. Now follow me. A penny, chasing, elbow, knees down deep. A penny, chasing, elbow, knees down deep. A penny, chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Penny, chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Yeah. Move it, beat it, chase it, jerk it. Move it, beat it, chase it, twist it. Move it, beat it, chase it, twist it. Move it, beat it, chase it, work it. When the water cutting through the land into the beating heart of the trumpet drum, pouring our base instincts into the wave of the ocean. Blown by the brass wind, burned by the violin. You're the one, a penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. A penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Together. Penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Chase the pennies. Penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Move it, feel it, chase it, jerk it, jerk it, jerk it. Move it, feel it, chase it, twist it, twist it. Move it, feel it, chase it, twist it, twist it. Move it, feel it, chase it, jerk it. I'm the kind-being tiger who scares the mountain. Oh, that mountain without a top. On top of it, I see the tree. I'm the big carpenter, climbing on the top of the tree. Over the mountain, an immeasurable ocean of clouds. I'm a griffin, I take off, and I become an eagle. I fly above the wave of the ocean. Blown by the brass wind, burned by the violin. I see the storm, I enter the eye of the storm. I become mineral. Penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Ooh, yeah. Penny chasing, elbow, knees down deep. Ooh, now, move it, feel it, chase it, jerk it. Ooh, now, move it, feel it, chase it, twist it. Yeah, we're hunters chasing the sound. Cover a man with a spina that won't make any sound. Bludgeon a man with a spina that won't make any sound.
I love Portobello Radio.
Bayakta, 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 bayakta. Now, what do you want to be? A billionaire. The future is now. Billionaire. The future is now. A billionaire. The future is now. Billionaire. The future is now. Chill it now. Chill the man. Just chill it. Chill the man. Yeah. Chill it. Boom. Jump into the ocean. Vertical dive into the depths of darkness. Arizona, touch the bottom and push right back on top. Arizona, touch the bottom.
Radio, Portobello Radio, Portobello Radio.
And now, here in Portobello Radio.
Hey, there you go. Absolutely spectacular. Ben, you're amazing. Absolutely amazing. A life force. Go on. Say it again, bro. Say it again.
I'm just 10%. I would like to go 3 top speeds, but that's for the ones who like the dub system. And now you pack it up.
This man would do very, very well in Berlin.
Local people.
And now, here in Portobello Radio.
Like Kimosabe, of course it's me, a better known as the Master G. I'm fucking them squads, sense the danger, when it's done about the rapping ranger. Had a little talk with my medicine man, he said get them squads fast as you can. To all you girls that wanna join my tribe, just move to my rhythm and feel my vibe. Put up a fuss, in the end you'll agree, but when you come inside my TV, as I said before, you can sense the danger when you're stung about the rapping ranger. With Silver and I take a ride, all you chicks better step aside. I stay in the squalls, then run away. Ho! Silver is what I'll say. Ho! Just rock it out, a finger popping to the break of dawn. Keep it rocking like the stuff that we call me. Hot butter popcorn. You just hippa hoppa dippa papa bang the book. You will get bet you wanna boogie again. And you can put me to the test at your request. I rock you out of your moccasins. Kimosabe got down, took off his mask. He kicked off his shoes and did the monster mash. Tonto came along, saw what was happening. His head began to bop and his foot started to pat and go slam. Tongue, do the jerk, the jerk, the jerk, the jerk.